Hi everyone. So today we're going to be doing a rehab on this picture here, or this painting here. I did it in 2020 and it needs to be fixed. I did it at a time where I was kind of forcing myself to paint as opposed to just letting myself paint as I wanted to. Um, so I found this in my stash of paintings and I thought the idea is really cool. It looks like I like the painting, but it definitely needs to be fixed because it's not something I want to display because it doesn't look how I think it should look. Also, sorry for the way I sound. I'm not sure if it's allergies or if I have a cold. I've been under the weather at this point for about a week and it is what it is. So, um I want to fix this up. I want to fix, like there, you can see that just does not look good. I think I just used watered down white and yellow mixed for some reason to highlight. And I just feel like a lot of detail got lost. Um, but I do think it's a cool painting. And I want to be able to maybe put it up on the wall or whatever. I like displaying my art in my little area. Um, so yeah, I guess that's the plan today. So first things first, obviously I'm doing a voiceover, so if stuff's a little off, that's why, because my neighbor was leaf blowing, which is cool, 'tis the time of year, I guess. And also my dog was pacing around behind me and her nails like click on the hardwood floor, so, or well, not real hardwood, but you know what I mean. They click on the floor. And it was kind of distracting and it was very loud to hear her nails, so bear with me if it's a little bit awkward. Also, it's really funny that I thought this video was going to be short, and yet here we are, almost 25 minutes in. 25 minutes. But yeah, I think I saw a picture, like a digital art picture maybe similar to this on Pinterest or something like this. Again, this was in 2020, and I think I decided that I wanted to try to paint it. And again, I just did it at a time where I think I needed a break from painting, so I'm just going to start touching this up. I mean, the cool thing is, like I've said before, you really can fix paintings at kind of any stage because this is years later, and I'm going to go in and basically just cover everything that I don't like and repaint it. So I really like that painting allows you, or acrylics at least, allow you that option. I'm not sure if it's the same. I don't think with watercolors, with watercolors, I know it's not that simple. And I'm not sure about with oils. So, oh my gosh, my voice, you guys, I'm so sorry. But I felt like the the grass here just got a little too lightened up, and I feel like I added highlights where there shouldn't have been highlights on like the black foreground bushes because they're in the dark. In theory, they're in the night. So I just wanted to darken it all up. Go back in and re-add the highlights where I think the highlights actually would go. And at the end, I do end up being really happy with how this painting turns out. So yeah, this was probably one of the last paintings that I did for around 2.5, 3 years. I didn't start painting again until I started recording videos. So I hadn't painted at all really since around 2020. And this might be the last thing that I painted genuinely. Because again, I was not in a good headspace and I was trying to force myself to paint, and I was realizing that in doing that, I hated every painting that I did. It felt like a chore rather than a fun hobby. And part of the reasoning for that was because, my mom had passed in 2019, and she was the first person that I showed my paintings to. I would text her or send her a message on Facebook and be like, Mom, what do you think of my new painting? And honestly, whether it was good or bad, she was my mom. So of course she was like, oh, baby, that's amazing. I love it, or whatever. And I liked hearing that despite being, in my late 20s at the time. I liked it. So once she was gone and I was not able to send her the paintings anymore, it was weird. They always felt weirdly incomplete, even though they weren't. And so eventually that kind of translated into me rushing through and just not doing a good job. But yeah, so here you can see that to me already looks infinitely better. Added in the little light green, yellow highlights without watering the paint down. I don't know what I was thinking before, but I think I just wasn't thinking is the problem. I'm not sure what I'm doing here off camera. Usually I try to remove that, and I'm not sure why I didn't, but that's okay. Oh, I'm just adding more. I was mixing up a lighter yellow, or lighter green, I guess. But yeah, so the concept of this painting was really cool. It reminded me of like Alice in Wonderland, which is one of my favorite books, movies. I love it. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so sorry for how I sound. The original voice, like, the original audio was just so noisy that it was awful. And I thought about speeding this up, but I'm like, I've done that like a couple of times in a row, so I'd rather actually talk to you and explain and just share, I guess, some of me with you. Not that I'm that interesting, but that's okay. Rinsing out my brush here. You might still hear my dog because now she is just down laying beside me, stretching and grumbling. Usually I pause for this kind of stuff. I don't know what I'm explaining here. I'm just showing you the difference from the beginning of how much more depth that has to it and how much better it looks. It looks like actual grass. Come on, self, what are we doing? Usually I would pause when I was doing this stuff. I'm not sure why I kept filming. And I could edit it out, but at this point I find it kind of funny, to be honest. Okay, so yeah, here I am going back in and adding in these black foreground bushes. Again, these would be in total, like they're shadows. They're in the night portion of the painting. And yes, the daylight kind of spills in, but I added highlights all around. Like there wouldn't be highlights over here. This would be all silhouette, you know? So I don't know. Again, I wasn't thinking when I did this painting originally, and that was the issue, is I was rushing through it because I just wanted to, I don't know. I don't even know why, honestly. I just, for some reason, I felt almost forced to paint, which I wasn't. I mean, I did sell them, and so, like, I don't know if I just needed money and thought, like, that was a good way to get it, but the paintings ended up being not good anyway. And not good in the sense that, like, oh, they're not what I wanted. Like, no, they just weren't good on a technical level. They didn't make sense, and oh, here I am, I struggle with keeping my canvas board because I don't, sorry to get off on a tangent, I don't like canvas panels. I prefer stretch canvas. Like, I had such a hard time getting this to stay up there. It keeps falling off. Like, oh my gosh. Usually I would like edit all this out, but I'm just gonna show you the real struggle of painting sometimes. But yeah, so anyway, I think I felt like forced to paint and not, I wasn't painting because I just wanted to express myself. And that's where things like that tend to become an issue for me, because if I'm not enjoying it, then I rush through and it doesn't end up looking good by my own standards. And as long as it comes out in a way that I like at the end, I don't care if it doesn't come out exactly as I expected it to. As long as the finished painting is something I'm happy with, I'm happy. But this one was not that. This one I hated. I stuck it on a shelf hidden because I thought it looked so bad. So, yeah. Again, why did I not pause here, you guys? This video probably would have been so much shorter had I think I'm still out of it. Like, I wanted to paint today. I genuinely wanted to paint, but I'm just still very tired, and not feeling the best, so I'm just a little out of it. Oh, here I am. You can't see it in the video, but there was just some, like, white canvas that I left behind. Like, not stars. It didn't blend in and look like stars. It just looked like unpainted canvas, and I didn't like that, so I was just fixing that here. And it makes it look, again, I need to figure out a better setup. I just have no clue what would work better. But in person, I can see that it just adds like a little bit of a sharpness to this thing that would, in theory, be three-dimensional. You know, it's a doorway. So I'm just lining that real quick. I kind of wish, I think, that the sky had been a little bit more purpley rather than it. It's in person, it's a very dark blue. And I think I wish I had added a little bit of dimension to that, but without completely painting over all the stars, that's not super possible, and I'd pretty much just have to repaint the whole background, and so I decided that the blue is okay. Maybe at some point in the future, when my skills improve, I will redo this painting, like completely from scratch, and try to give it a little bit more dimension. I was struggling with whether or not I wanted to make this a spooky painting, and I decided not to because, and here's the thing that I want you guys to know. I like spooky stuff and I like seasonal paintings. I already have some Christmas and winter themed paintings planned, but I want to be able to break that up by just painting what I want to paint or doing like this, like a rehab painting where I fix an old one that I did. I want to be able to do those things thrown in because, again, otherwise painting becomes more of a chore than a fun hobby, and I don't want it to turn into something that I start to dread. I don't want to have to only do, spooky paintings during spooky season. I want to be able to throw in a pretty landscape or whatever tickles my fancy. And same thing, like when Christmas and winter rolls around, I don't want to just have to paint Christmassy stuff. If I want to randomly paint a bat, I want to be able to do that. And hopefully you guys will still enjoy the kind of randomness. And I am kind of planning right now doing maybe one painting a week, just so that way, again, I don't get burnt out on painting. And that'll either be a kind of seasonal painting or it'll be a rehab painting video or whatever. I'm saying a lot. I'm sorry. The voice clip or the voiceover thing is awkward to me. But again, the original audio was just so noisy with a train and a leaf blower and my dog and my cats and just everything. So I'm hoping the audio for this is much better. I feel like I need to get a microphone maybe, and that would help drown out some of the background noise. But I don't know if like this is going to be, I don't know if that's something that I actually need to utilize yet, at least. Because I don't think microphones are super cheap, and well, I don't mind investing money into this. I'd rather put the money into keeping canvas and paint and things like that, So yeah. There I was just darkening up like the wood grain of the doorway. It was a little light in my opinion, and it'll dry a little lighter than it is in the video. And here I just, again, you cannot see that at all, but I basically just added like a little yellowish highlight right there. But I think this is such a cool concept. I think it's a really pretty idea. Like, what is behind? Like, when you walk through that keyhole, either way, what's there? And here I'm explaining that I'm going to add, like, I'm not actually sure what I'm telling you here. I think I'm just showing you because I felt like you couldn't see for some reason. And I was just showing that here, the contrast is really pretty between, like, the bright daylight area and the dark of the night area, and that I don't want to add a bunch of highlights. And yet again, this is somewhere I would normally pause the video and get my stuff together and then continue. I have no clue. Oh, I think I'm getting ready to paint the birds, because in person they looked washed out. I'm not sure. I felt like all of my paint in this painting was very watered down, and I'm not sure if I was just using bad paints or I don't know what my thought process was. behind the watered down paint, but it looked very bad. So yeah, just touching those up, and I always make sure to add like what looks like a little head and a tail, because otherwise, like, I don't like just doing M's or whatever. I like to make them look a little bit more realistic, and it definitely looks better. I think if I did do this painting again, I would add like a tree or something else, maybe something in the foreground. I feel like the foreground is lacking a little bit, but I wasn't sure exactly what to add. But it's nice because I can definitely tell that my skills from 2020 to now have improved, because I still watch painting videos even when I wasn't painting like for myself. I was watching painting videos and learning from them. So yeah, and here I'm adding, you cannot see it at all in the video, but I'm just adding a very dark green to the edges here where the light in theory might hit a little bit. So those parts don't look just straight black. I mean, none of it, I actually did not use straight black for any of the silhouette. It's a very, very dark green, but I lightened that up just a little bit. And again, you can see it more in person than you can in the video. And I start adding little white flowers, and in the background I watered the paint down a lot, so that way they're very transparent. They're very, like, you barely can see them, especially once they dry. They're you can see them, but they're barely there. And then as we get closer to the foreground, I start making them bigger, more opaque, more obviously like flower petals and things like that. So I hope you guys aren't just so tired of listening to me talk. I know I sound so bad, and I know I'm bad at speaking in this way. I think my brain tends to get ahead of me, and so I stumble over my words and say a lot. But like I said, I did not want to do just another sped up video with music over it. I wish I had zoomed in here so you could really see the detail of what I'm doing. And honestly, this video is a little bit rough. I mean, like I said, from being under the weather and just dealing with some kind of seasonal sadness kind of thing. I don't like winter, and knowing that's coming up is a little hard for me. And the holidays are just hard too. So, just a little bit under the weather in every aspect. And so I think I wasn't thinking clearly while recording this, because otherwise I would have zoomed in here so you could actually see what I was doing. But I still wanted to post the video. I still wanted to show you guys that you can take an old painting and fix it up and make it look infinitely better, in my opinion. And I also like showing that I'm just human. I'm not this like perfectly polished YouTuber who has all of her stuff together. I don't. And sometimes I record a video that's like subpar in my own opinion, but it's real. And I would prefer to see real videos over these like super, I mean, don't get me wrong, the people who put like crazy amounts of time and effort into recording videos and editing them and make these beautifully like seamless videos, I love that. But I also like the videos where it is just someone talking and it's not perfect and it's not polished, because most of life isn't actually like that. And so it's just nice to see the real side of things sometimes. So that's kind of how I record. That's how I do that's how I edit, is I don't take out every single little thing that I could to make this a well put together video. I leave in the little human moments where maybe I take a little while to mix up my paint off camera, or maybe I ramble about absolutely nothing and I leave that in. It's because I'm just a person, and I'm not even a big famous YouTuber. I have 303 subscribers as of this voiceover, sorry, which is amazing to me. And I never in my wildest dreams would I have 300 subscribers on YouTube, but I'm just me, and I'm kind of a mess. So I want you guys to see that it's okay to be a mess sometimes. But yeah, so here you see I'm adding the bigger flowers. Also, I am still using like the very tip of my brush and dotting in just little tiny, tiny dots of white because there are going to be budding flowers or flowers that are down further in the grass that you're not going to see as well. And I am just adding like a couple of brighter ones in the background there. Because again, the bigger flowers in the back would still be more noticeable than the small ones. And I just like the dimension that it adds to have little specks and bigger flowers even in the distance. Although I kind of feel like I should have added, yeah, go add a couple, yes, add more over there. It looks like just a line of flowers and I don't like that. There are plenty over there, Self. Go add more on the left side. No, not over there. A retrospect is really funny. There we go. There. Oh, I'm just brightening those up. Okay, add another one. Like, right? No, okay. That's fine. Do you? See here, I'm looking for where I need to add more flowers or brighten them up a little bit, and yet I missed the whole left side. So that's another one of those like real moments where I can look and see that that little area on the left needs more. And you guys are probably thinking, wow, the area on the left definitely needs more. But in real life, when I'm painting it, I don't seem to have noticed. I think here I go and I'm mixing up a yellow to put a little yellow dot in some of them. Again, something normally I would have done off camera, like paused and done and then continued. So I'm so sorry guys for these awkward like lulls in the video. I think I was struggling here because I kept mixing it too brown and then too yellow, so I had to keep going back. And I really wish I had zoomed in here. I'm so sorry. I think it's because I just was thinking of this as like a rehab painting, and so I was like, oh, it doesn't, like, I just wasn't really thinking about the actual recording process, which was a mistake, but hopefully the next video will be better, and hopefully I'll feel better and be a little bit more with it. I'm tired of not feeling well. I'm tired of this scratchy voice and the congestion. But I'll survive. It could be worse. Always could be worse. But yeah, you can't tell me that doesn't look so much better than it did at the beginning. I mean, like, the painting at the beginning was not good. Oh, here I am just adding a couple little yellow dots here and there as well because it adds like cute little highlights, and they could also be like little, sometimes they're a little yellow. I don't know if they're daisies, but daisy-like flowers mixed in with the white ones. So that's what I'm doing. I just think it looks pretty. So yeah, I hope sometimes I inspire you guys to like try a painting that I've done or just try a painting that you've been wanting to do for a while, because you know what? It does not have to be perfect and it does not have to be great the first time. You can always wait 3 years and then go touch it up and try again with your new and improved painting skills. There's nothing wrong with that. And if you have a good relationship with your mom, even if you're in your 40s, you should show your mom your paintings. I think she would like it, and I think you would like it too. But I'm pretty much done here. Just under a minute left, and my dog is starting to dream in the background, so today has just been a trip. There it is. That's the fixed up finished painting. I'm just going to sign it, and that will be it. I appreciate you guys watching my videos so much. I appreciate every like, every comment, every new subscriber. I appreciate the people who've been subscribed. Like, it genuinely means the world to me, and I hope you'll continue to watch all of my little mistakes and awkward moments, because I'm going to be honest with you. There will be more. There will always be more awkward moments. All right, take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you next time. Bye.